Alright guys, Retro Toy Closet back at you with another big time review. This is JJB, the Chef Collector on Instagram. JXP2, he is not with us on this review, but he'll be back with you guys on another one of his future reviews, unless we get another one we get to do together. That's the joys of having two opposite schedules for work. Anyhow, today's review, Optimus Prime. From the Bumblebee movie, this is the DLX scale edition that was made by Threezero. These are some solid figures right here. I originally picked up the first release they did, which was the Bumblebee. I've always been a huge Bumblebee fan. That was my go-to Transformer as a kid growing up. Optimus Prime being second, followed by some other ones, but they were in my top two. If you were a kid raised in the 80s, there were only so many different cartoons that you actually watched. It was either He-Man, G.I. Joe, or the Transformers. There was other cartoons, but those are the most popular, and we're going to roll out with this Transformer review right here. So, this is just the front of the art box. Looks freaking amazing, just like the Bumblebee one did. This Bumblebee movie was actually pretty cool to me because they actually went with some of the original G1 look on these characters. That was the thing that aggravated me with the Michael Bay movies, is he completely changed the look on all of them. Bumblebee as a Camaro? What? I couldn't wrap my head around it, but I tried to still enjoy it because I was a Transformer fan. But, we got the Bumblebee installment. Even though they stuck John Cena in there, I still tried to enjoy it as much as possible. And we got some good G1 looking Transformers out of this movie. So let's go ahead and open this box up and see how this bad boy looks. Okay, this is just the initial binder opening for the front. It has like a display window, just with the cover that's got a magnet on it, so you could pop it open if you're one of those guys that just buy stuff to leave it in the box. I don't do that with everything. There's some stuff I'll leave in the box, but pieces like this, it's coming out. It's going to go behind a glass case, but it's coming out. Just the first initial look right now is like, this Optimus Prime is amazing. Threezero, they do make all their figures thus far with die-cast. There is some plastic in there, but majority of the body is die-cast. And if this is anything like that Bumblebee, this is a very solid construction. I do not recommend this for kids, and what some people consider as a downside is they don't transform, which I'm fine with this. I'll display him in his robot form, and if I have to, I'll take my original G1 and put it right next to it, just to give like a little throwback to the originals from the 80s. So this Optimus Prime, he has additional accessories. Look like he has a couple hands he comes with. He comes with his blaster, which is the, looks almost like the original iconic design from the G1 from the 80s. So I'm definitely liking that. They changed the grill up a little bit compared to the original one, and they added some more gears on his forearms, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, he still has resemblance of the original G1 Optimus Prime. So that right there, you get brownie points with me. So let's go ahead and get this big boy out of the box, because I'm excited to see him next to Bumblebee. Okay, we're going to go a little free fall right here for a second. This thing is so big, I really can't just stand it up, and I don't want to run that risk of dropping it. But up under Optimus Prime, they have their display base, which this thing has like a hydraulic lift right here where you can kind of elevate the figure up on the base. So if you want to, you can put them in like a flight pose or like a jumping attack, whatever you want to do. You get your warranty sheet from Threezero, and then you got your instruction manual on, all the articulations, the additional accessories, basically how to operate and use your Optimus Prime, which I'm quite for sure he more likely has a compartment for some batteries, because Bumblebee had that in his head. I don't see any batteries thus far, but if it doesn't have batteries, we'll do a review later, you know, next time to see how he looks with the eyes all lit up. So, alright. Alright, as my boy Stephen Q. Urkel would say, whoa, mama! This thing is freaking amazing. Got him out of the package, and the detail is off the scale. Wow. That's all I can say. I'm honestly kind of still sitting here in awe, and I'm trying to hold my composure together for you guys, but this thing is freaking amazing. You know, at first I thought that was like different gears or whatever, but that I'm assuming that's supposed to be like the motor, because that looks like pulleys and, you know, parts of like cylinder heads and everything on the insides of his arms. So I imagine when he transforms, all that folds into where the engine bay would be. But, this sucker is heavy. Like, look at that. This thing looks amazing. Like, all the detail. You know, definitely feel a little bit more plastic in this one than with the Bumblebee. Bumblebee had that feel where it's like you could tell it was die cast. Like I said, these do not transform, which some people consider that as a no-sell for them, but I like to display mine in robot form. You know, I do have some that I like in car form, depending on what the car was. But wow, this thing is amazing. You know, it has some moving pieces and, you know, good articulation in the arms, you know, for a robot. Actually has a nice little swivel in the abdominal area. I'm not going to get too far into the articulation or anything. You know, I just want to enjoy this thing. Because there's other guys on YouTube. They do that full breakdown on all the articulation. I just like to showcase the figure and show off the figure, because that's what a lot of them, they kind of forget sometimes. They're so into trying to show what the figure can do, they don't actually let you sit there and enjoy the figure itself. Like, look at that. Like, the detail on the tires and the rims, and, you know, it actually has like the look where it looks like dirt is on the inside. Like, the wash they did on this thing is phenomenal. Yeah, I already got to clean my fingerprint off his windshield. I can see that with the quickness. So I'm going to take a microfiber cloth and clean all that back off. But let's go ahead and get him set up back in the box. And I'm going to go ahead and pull Bumblebee out. Alright guys, it was a little bit of a struggle to get those hands on. So I highly recommend just be careful with it. I was more worried about breaking the peg that's on the inside. It's a solid construction. Compared to a lot of wrist pegs that you see with other Hasbro figures. Because believe it or not, Hasbro actually was in the collaboration of making this with Threezero. So, yeah, just be careful on the wrist pegs. I got the hand in. It probably could go a little bit more, but, you know, I just want to go ahead and wrap this review up. But, this is the original Bumblebee. That was the first figure that they released, and you can tell there's quite a size difference between the two of them, as there should be. I believe Bumblebee was a little bit closer to 9.5, 10 inches tall. Prime, he's got to be a little over 11.5, if not 12 inches. You know, I have to put it next to one of my 6 scale just to see for sure, but he's definitely a lot bigger. Threezero, they also offer a bigger version of these. I believe those are like closer to 14 to 18 inches tall. For me, this is the perfect size. I don't know. I'm still on the fence with Soundwave. Not quite sure if I'm going to get him. It would have been nice if Megatron would have showed his face a little more in the movie, you know, and they would have made one of him, but I think I'm happy with just Prime and Bumblebee. You know, like I said, those were my original OGs that I loved. I actually have both of mine still from my childhood. You know what? Let's do something different. Let's get out of this little box right here. And we're going to go ahead and go to the right over here and check out the few Transformers I have. I don't have many because I sold off a lot. But up here, this is some of my G1s that I've had from childhood, and of course I picked up more along the way. Well, that's my 2 original Bumblebees right there. And then we got old Prime up top with the trailer, looking all extra special, shall we say. Yeah, I just picked that one up right there. Astro Train, that was another classic that I loved as a childhood. That's the reissue that it just came out with. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this review up. This is for the Threezero Optimus Prime. Phenomenal fig. If you're just into museum poses or, you know, statuesque type looks, these figures are perfect for that. I was looking through the instruction manual. Optimus Prime's eyes do light up. Unfortunately, batteries must be so expensive that they couldn't even include the 2 batteries. So I'm going to have to get batteries for him, and then I got to get more for Bumblebee. And then we'll go ahead and do another video, like I said, of their eyes all lit up and everything. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I have a pictures when I first got Bumblebee with his eyes all lit up. I think I had him standing next to Grimlock. But, yeah. Phenomenal figs. Phenomenal. I like, you know, I really like the design on this. It's, very realistic looking, you know, nowadays that I'm starting to become an older collector, I like to have stuff that looks a little bit more realistic. So that's why I'm tending to lean more towards the 6 scale, you know, Hot Toys being very top at that list. Sideshow. We'll see what, you know, Threezero does here and there, but for Transformers, Threezero, they're the way to go, man. You know, if you're in your mid-30s or mid-40s and you appreciate Transformers or all the fun stuff from the 80s, I definitely say give these guys a chance. Check them out. If you just want something that's nice and clean and do a nice museum pose because your wife won't let you have toys in the house, this is perfect. If your wife lets you have toys in the house, that's awesome. So, that's a whole nother political story right there. But this is the Retro Toy Closet wrapping up this review for the Optimus Prime. And remember, guys, stay retro.